Light is a bright and cheerful teen who has always imagined becoming a successful adventurer so he can someday give his family a life filled with comfort. To chase that dream, he leaves his tiny village behind and heads toward the city to sign up as an adventurer. But things don't go smoothly for him. In this world, the goddess created 9 races, and humans sit at the very bottom. Because of that, they constantly face discrimination, which Light experiences the moment he steps into the city. A beastman adventurer rudely orders him to step aside, and although Light wasn't actually in the way, he can only apologize. When he finally reaches the guild, he registers as an adventurer, and the receptionist informs him that beginners like him always start at F rank. She asks whether he has a gift that could help in his evaluation, and Light enthusiastically says yes. He tells her his gift is called Unlimited Gacha, and that he can essentially pull items out of it, but instead of explaining more, he decides it's easier to demonstrate. Light summons his gacha device and activates it. The machine spits out a fork card and, when he releases it, a fork appears on the table. But the fork is badly bent, which makes Light panic. He insists that the results are usually better and quickly uses his skill again several times, only to pull out a rotten apple and moldy bread. This convinces the receptionist that this loser deserves nothing more than F rank. Light accepts the rank happily and then asks if there's any job he can take immediately. She points him to the bulletin board where the simple tasks are posted, but Light freezes the moment he sees it. The receptionist realizes he's illiterate, though that isn't surprising, since humans generally have low literacy. She suggests that he can do basic labor like carrying rocks or collecting wood, but those don't pay nearly as well as the other quests. Light agrees anyway, and after working the whole day, he manages to earn just enough to rent a small room. He still relies on his gacha skill for food, but he believes he can get by. However, a group of beastmen has a different plan. They deliberately stand in his way so he bumps into them, and their leader instantly starts yelling at Light for dirtying his clothes. Before they take his coin pouch, Light panics and begs them to return his money because otherwise he won't have a place to stay. But the wolfman punches him aside, saying he needs to pay for the laundry. They leave Light lying in a muddy puddle, and everyone who passes tells him to sleep in the filthy slums like the rest of the humans. Feeling hopeless, Light suddenly sees a hand extended toward him. Without thinking, he grabs the hand of a beautiful elf girl, only to realize a moment later that his own hand is covered in mud. He quickly pulls away and apologizes for dirtying her, but she calmly tells him it doesn't matter. She assures him she won't hurt him, but Light's years of discrimination make it hard for him to believe that. To prove she means no harm, the elf kneels down and hugs him, leaving Light speechless. Even as bystanders mock her for lowering herself to comfort a human, she helps Light stand again. Behind her stands a group of people from different races, and they introduce themselves as the Concord of Tribes. They explain that they formed a party with one member from each race created by the goddess, and the only one they were missing was a human. Garu the Beastman speaks first, followed by the elf woman Sasha, who introduces the rest: Drago the Dragonuda, Diablo the Demon, Abro the Oni, a dark elf, Nano the Dwarf, and a centaur named Santer. Garu says they had been searching for a human to complete their party. Cyan adds that they created this group to end racism and build a world where every race is treated equally. Light finds it hard to believe, but he can't reject such an incredible offer, so he happily joins the Concord of Tribes. Soon, they begin adventuring together, but Light quickly becomes the team's weakest link. Drago and Sasha repeatedly save him from monsters, telling him to be cautious because a single hit could kill him. Light apologizes for being careless, and Sasha immediately checks him for injuries, insisting he stay behind them. The rest of the group teases Sasha for clearly being obsessed with Light, though she blushes and claims she only sees him as a party member. Light feels useless since he can't do anything besides carry the luggage, but Drago tells him that his tea is amazing, and that alone is good enough. Hearing that makes Light happy, and he follows the group deeper inside the dungeon. Eventually, they reach an open chamber with one way in and out, and the members exchange glances, concluding that this is the ideal place for their plan. Not knowing anything about their intentions, Light begins preparing tea when Drago walks up to him and tells him he's being kicked out of the party. Light can't even process the words and asks what he did wrong. Garu bluntly says they're firing him because he contributes nothing. They all begin insulting Light for being useless and stupid, and even Sasha acts disgusted. The party starts throwing slurs at him and at the human race. Light thinks it must be some kind of joke, but they tell him no one would waste time pranking trash like him. Confused, he asks why they treated him kindly before, and they explain it was all an act. Drago reveals that their superiors saw Light's unlimited gacha and suspected he might be a maestro. That's why the Concord of Tribes was ordered to watch him. But once they confirmed his gift was worthless and he couldn't possibly be a maestro, they received the signal to dispose of him. Sasha is the one who feels the biggest sense of relief that they no longer have to keep Light around, because if he truly turned out to be a maestro, then she would be forced to marry him. And just imagining that gives her chills. Light, meanwhile, still can't even grasp what the word maestro is supposed to mean. But Drago cuts the chatter, saying they've already told him far more than they should have, and they need to finish him off before more adventurers show up. Gao instantly copies Wolverine, pulling out his metal claws and dragging them across Light's face. Only now does Light truly realize that he's knee-deep in serious, with absolutely no escape. In panic, he bolts as fast as he can, and the racist bastards just laugh at him, saying they won't let him run. Sasha fires an arrow through his leg, and as Light crashes to the ground screaming, the racist elves remark that human screams sound like music to their ears. Gaara decides to make Light scream even more and starts attacking him, but Drago orders him to stop because they have to make it seem like a monster ambush killed him. Gaara listens, preparing to finish the job, but Light desperately crawls forward, clinging to life. Suddenly, the ground beneath him lights up, and Light realizes he's in the center of a teleportation circle. Drago sees it as well and shouts at Gao to kill him immediately. But before Gao reaches him, the teleportation circle activates and whisks Light away. Unfortunately, things don't improve much for him. Even though he escaped the backstabbing traitors, the teleport trap dumps him at a random location deep inside the dungeon, and he knows that the moment any monster spots him, he's dead. Thinking about his family, he wonders what he ever did to deserve being betrayed. He remembers how kindly everyone treated him before stabbing him in the back, and finally understands that their warmth was only an act to gain his trust before revealing their true colors. Furious, he lets his rage fuel his will to survive. Standing up, he swears he'll personally rip those bastards apart. But before he can curse them out further, Light hears a low growl behind him. Turning around, he comes face to face with a level 1000 monster glaring straight at him. He freaks out instantly, because this thing looks like it walked straight out of a fairy tale nightmare. Light then realizes he's been teleported to the dungeon's lowest floor, and honestly, he had a better chance surviving his party than this creature. Wondering how he's supposed to fight something like that, his mind drifts to his gift, Ultimate Gacha, and he decides to roll the dice. He starts slamming the gacha button over and over, and suddenly the simple device transforms into something beyond anything he imagined. A giant magic circle forms beneath him as the gacha device begins powering up. Light has no idea what's going on, but just as the monster lunges, the gacha roll finishes. A level 9099 maid servant appears and obliterates the monster instantly. It's over before Light can even blink. Then the aura farming maid approaches him. She kneels, healing all his injuries in a single moment, saying she couldn't stand seeing his silky smooth skin harmed, so she healed him without waiting for permission. Light is shocked to find he's completely fine again. The maid asks his name, he tells her he's Light, and she becomes delighted. She swears upon the maid's code of honor to serve him until death. Light, confused, tells her that's all fine but she should at least give her own name first. She introduces herself as May, the ever-seeking maid, explaining that she came from a super ultra-rare card in his unlimited gacha. Light refuses to believe that a level 9099 maid just came from his worthless gift, but May asks permission to use her appraisal ability to check his gift's hidden details. He agrees immediately. Using her Sharingan-like ability, May discovers his powers are buried beneath extremely strong concealment, so strong that anyone below her level can't even detect them. She explains that his ultimate gacha is far more useful than he thinks. The rarity of the cards heavily depends on the mana density of the area. And apparently, there's a rarity class even higher than her own super ultra rarity. May reveals that surface mana is extremely low, but the dungeon depths are overflowing with it, which allowed her to be summoned. She praises Light's courage for coming this deep to unleash the full potential of his gift. Light breaks down, admitting he's actually a loser who couldn't even get close to the dungeon entrance alone. Crying, he tells her how his party betrayed him, whining about how they pretended to want a world without discrimination just to deceive him. He swears he'll get revenge. May pulls him into a hug, saying she doesn't fully understand what he went through, but she'll do anything he asks, and crushing the people who hurt him would be effortless for her. But Light says she can't, not because he's kind, but because he wants to take revenge with his own hands, even though he's far too weak right now. He vows to make all of them suffer before killing them. May kneels again, promising that if he wants the strength to get revenge, she'll help him achieve it. She says she believes in his potential, and Light can only thank her. Still, he's not satisfied with just one overpowered baddie in his harem, so he decides to take advantage of the dungeon's mana-rich environment even more. He uses unlimited gacha again, summoning more elite maids to form a kingdom that will become the foundation of his grand revenge. But that's where this video wraps up. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.